Hello. Is this thing on? Can you hear me? Is YouTube working? I don't even know. Oh, give me a second to refresh my YouTube. It doesn't seem to be that. Oh, there it is. All right, we're live. I'm starting early. I apologize to the mods and everyone who's queued up to start in half an hour. There's so much to talk about today. We got to start right now. So, hi, who do we got in chat? Let's just say hi to people. Lori Hellis was here. She's going to be listening. Her and I had a great talk this morning about all these filings we're going to go through. Hi, Feeding It. Got K. Cynthia Berg. Oh, Drowsy Doll. Good to see you. Got K. Man, we got so much to talk about. Hi, Andrea. Green Eggs and Ham. Mama Bear. Pink Pajama Penguin. Julia. Angel. Hi, how are you doing? Lori Muller. Jody Hutchinson. Okay. My God, like what happened? I woke up yesterday and there was, the filings we'd gone through. And then I wake up this morning and every time I refresh the page, there's another filing. My brain is melted. Hi, Emily. Yeah, stay safe driving. Don't watch chat while you're driving. My goodness, we don't want to see that. Hi, I don't recall. How are you doing? Thank you for the tip on the LSATs. I have looked into an LSAT prep program, so I'll be getting that, and I'm sure I'll be talking to you about that soon. Hi, Tina, Karen, Sue, Kavita, Lori, Fluffy, Nomo. How are you doing? I haven't talked to you in a while. Oh, all right, let's dive in. My God, my mind is blown with all these filings. I decided to start early because if I started half an hour before the hearing, we would never have time to get through just what's been dropped today. So I'm going to back up a few days and we're going to run through everything kind of quickly. I'm not going to read it all because we just don't have time for that. But let's go through all the filings. We'll talk about what they mean, what they are, get at least so we're all caught up before the hearing starts today. The first one, this was filed last week sometime. It's a supplemental declaration. Oop, let me turn my phone off or that's going to be making all kinds of noise. And we don't need to hear that. Also, I apologize for my voice today. I'm still sick. I have my voice back, but as you can tell, it's certainly not 100%. But, hopefully we'll get through this before I go back to the laryngitis. CV Freeze, it does matter because this is a court of law and these are filings in the pursuit of justice. If you don't want to hear them, you don't have to. You can wait for the hearing. It starts in about an hour, but we're going to fly through them anyway. All right, the first one, the supplemental declaration. This is just Mark Mean saying that he is having trouble getting to meet with his client. As we know, he's mentioned that many times. This is his supplemental declaration, just explaining to the court some of the kinds of troubles he's had. Basically, he showed up to the court. He asked for the attorney-client room, and they said he needs a court order and yada, yada, and he's having trouble with that. That's all that filing was. Okay, we knew about that. No big deal. Now, let's move on to the next one. You have to be patient with me as I open them all because I have to open them one by one or my Google Chrome is going to crash. The next one, I'm going to put it up on your screen. Give me 1 second. All right, this is the second supplemental declaration of counsel Mark L. Means in support of the motion to compel. This is his motion to compel to get Rob Wood to turn over documents. Now, we had a whole hearing about this. The judge has ruled on it. This was just a supplemental declaration of additional information he was providing to the court. Okay, no big deal. We've already had the hearing and the ruling on this, so why is this even here? I don't know. Does it matter? Probably not. But that is also one of the recent filings. If you want to see all these and have them all for your own records or read through them carefully, they are posted in Discord. Links to all the PDFs are there. Okay, so this was just basically saying that he was mad that Rob Wood's filing was late. He was supposed to respond within 14 days. He did not meet that deadline. Therefore, the state failed to comply with the rule and waived any objection that he would have. But that was already dealt with by the court. So that came in a bit late. Next up, there's so many of these. All right, motion for remote testimony. I'm not even going to cover that because who cares? It's just them asking the court to let somebody testify long distance via Zoom instead of being there in the court. But next, we have the motion to compel by Rob Wood. Okay, now this is Rob Wood's side of things. Let me put this up on the screen. So remember, everyone who yells about Mark Means filing this stuff, remember that Rob Wood's doing it too. They're all filing this stuff. So Rob Wood's amended motion to compel. All right, this is trying to get the defense A counsel for defendant Chad Daybell, that would be John Pryor, provided the state with a report of a survey that they intend to enter into the motion to change venue. Now, this is coming up on the 22nd of March, right? This change of venue hearing. What the defense team did was months ago, they had an informal survey done of people in the area in Idaho, mainly Madison and Fremont County, to see what people thought of the case, right? Was there an inherent opinion of guilt or innocence, or did people not hear about it? How many people knew about the case? All this stuff, just an informal survey. And the defense wants to present that at the change of venue hearing. But they have not, at the time of this filing, turned over all the information to the state yet about who they're actually going to call to the stand and what they're going to testify to. So this is Rob Wood saying, hey, I need this stuff if you think you're going to put it on the stand or enter it into the court record. So that's what this one. This is an amended version. He filed 2 of these. This one has a lot of exhibits attached to it, mainly John Pryor's response, basically saying no. John Pryor is sometimes not a man of many words, and he just did not turn over the stuff that Rob Wood wanted. So that is the motion to compel. Now, this is supposed to be the core of the hearing today. However, that's changed. So let's get to the next filing. That was the motion to compel. Next, we have a motion to allow a virtual appearance of an expert witness from Ironwood Insights. That's from Mark Means, saying he wants his witness from Ironwood Insights, a survey company, to be able to appear virtually via Zoom. Okay, we don't need to go through that. No big deal. Notice of service. All right, here's something from Mark Means. Let me get this on your screen. All right, here we go. This is Mark Means. Whoops, there it is. Saying that the undersigned certifies that on the first day of March, I caused a true and correct copy of the foregoing document to be forwarded by methods, blah, blah, blah. This is Mark Means saying, hey, I gave this information to the prosecutor and to John Pryor on March 1st. Okay, so just the notice of service. This is regarding the disclosure of witnesses and exhibits for the change of venue or the motion to transfer trial. So he said, here, I served it. Okay, great. So now what? Next, we move on to the supplemental expert witness disclosure regarding Ironwood's Insights. Let me get this up on the screen. Mark Means, you can't say he's not earning his keep. He's certainly been busy this week. That's for dang sure. This is Mark Means saying that Ironwood Insights, see the attached CV, the curriculum vitae, the resume, contact information, expert information, expertise, contact information, so on and so forth. Basically saying that Ironwood Insights has been retained by the defendant and is expected to testify and offer factual and expert opinion in accordance with the relevant statutes, laws, findings, etc. So they're going to be showing up at the change of venue hearing to say, hey, we did a market survey for, presumptions in this case, and this is what we found. Here's our report. So this is his curriculum vitae. David Bryant is the person who I guess is either in charge of Ironwood Insights or will be doing the survey. So Mark Means has given the information that Rob Wood was asking for in the motion to compel. So there you go. Why are we still having this hearing? We're getting there. There's more. There's always more with these people. There's always more. We have another notice of a disclosure witness. Now, this is where it gets kind of interesting. We have 2 motions in limine. Let me put one of them on the screen. They're trying some crazy stuff here. Is this the motion in limine? Well, let me see. All right, this is the first one. 2 of these were filed by Rob Wood. Motion in limine is basically saying, hey, I don't want this information entered into the court. Rob Wood is saying that. There's an argument going back between the defense and the state about this survey stuff. All right. In this survey that they're referencing here, the state is arguing that the people who conducted the surveys are not experts. It's not scientifically proven or based, and it's basically just opinion and gobbledygook, and he doesn't want it in the trial. Okay? So there are 2 motions in limine, one for Andrea Schatt and one for the other person who also did the survey. So I expect that these are what we're going to hear arguing about today. Okay, that Rob Wood is being like, no, these are our lay witnesses. It's not an expert opinion. It's not scientific. It's just they walked around and asked people some questions. That's not proper for a court of law. And certainly Mark Means is going to argue against that. So we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. But let me go back to the motion limine. Basically, she's saying, or Rob Wood is saying, on 2 occasions, Ms. Schatt, one of the people who did the survey, conducted informal surveys of residents in Fremont, Madison, and Bonneville counties in regards to the case. The defendant has provided no CV or other evidence that Ms. Schatt has the knowledge, skill, or training or education to conduct an accurate and unbiased poll or survey and present those findings to the court. All right, so it's pretty much Rob Wood just saying, hey, they can't call these people. These are just your average Joe off the street. They have no business doing this survey or presenting it and entering it in the court record. And Mark Means will probably come back and be like, well, we want them. Nah. We'll have to see what the judge says about this. But they're arguing whether they're expert witnesses or lay witnesses. And if they are experts, then they don't meet the bar for proof that they're an expert. And also, Means never turned over their curriculum vitae or anything to prove that they have the training and skill to even have done the survey in the first place. So there are 2 of those. We're going to hear both of those today, I'm pretty sure. All right, moving on, because there's still more. There's still more. This was the judge's order regarding the motion to compel that we heard last time. So let me put this on the screen. I'm going to lose my voice before today's over. I just know it. But let's get through as much as we can before that happens. All right, the last hearing that we watched together, this was the motion to compel hearing, the discovery issue that we saw before. All right, here is what the judge ruled. Now, we saw the judge rule this, and if you just wanted confirmation of what he said, that's this document. The January 8th motion to compel was granted in part and denied in part by the judge. The special prosecutor shall state whether he has personally met with the following witnesses or prospective witnesses, and they are Lori, Chad, Alec, Zulema, all the Daybell children. Interesting. Tammy Daybell. I'm sorry, what? I don't think Rob Wood has met with Tammy Daybell. Why is it in this list? Whatever. Adam Cox, Colby Ryan, Kelsey Ryan, parents of Chad, parents of Tammy, parents of Lori, Melanie Gibbs, Summer, David, Larry, Kay, April, Annie, Melanie, Ian, Brandon, Heather, and Matthew. All right, now we know all of those names. So the judge has ordered that if Rob Wood has met with any of these people, that he has to turn that information over to the defense. And for the individuals that the special prosecutor identifies as having met or conversed with, Rob Wood must identify to the best of his recollection the date and time of each of the meetings with the specific witnesses, the list of names of any other person present and party to any of those conversations. He has to furnish the defense with statements made by the prosecution witnesses or prospective prosecution witnesses to the prosecuting attorney. Furnish the defendant a copy of any written or record statements of the witnesses and prospective witnesses. So Mark Means got a lot of what he asked for in that hearing, and this is the judge's order telling him to do that. However, he does say the special prosecutor is not required to produce any work product. That's a very special distinction in there. And the special prosecutor shall comply with the order within 14 days of February 17th. So that was the result of the last hearing that we watched. Here it just is in black and white to make it a little easier to understand. Okay, now, time for a deep breath. Here we go, because there's more. Notice of remote hearing, that is today's hearing notice. We don't need to show that. Response to, oh, goodness, I can't even talk. Let me get this up on your screen. The next document. We're having fun, right? This is fun. Okay, here we go. Response to specific request of discovery pursuant to Idaho Criminal Rule 16. Now, this is the state of Idaho by and through the Madison County Prosecuting Office. Request of discovery pursuant to Idaho Criminal Rule 16 as follows. The special prosecutor shall state whether he personally has met with all of the following witnesses that we just talked about. Please see attached memorandums, police reports, and messages. Now, we don't get that. Okay, that is not uploaded into the public file. So we don't get to see all of those memorandums, police reports, and messages, which I would really like to see. I would really like to see those. Certainly if they come into trial, we'll get to see them. But for now, we just have to guess. But this is him just saying, okay, judge, so yes, he has filed his response within 14 days of the hearing. So that's good. He's covered his bases there. All right. What's next up in this circus? Let's see. Next up, behind door number 4 or 12, we have the second notice of service. That's not really a big deal. That's just Mark Mean saying, yeah, I did this stuff. The brief, here we go. Brief, this is a good one. This is from today. Let me get it up on the screen, and we'll talk about what it says. It's kind of a big one. If you want to read it, the PDF is posted in Discord. All right, here we go. This is the brief in support of the state's motion in limine. All right, on September 4th, 2020, Chad Daybell filed his motion for change of venue. Co-defendant Lori Daybell filed her motion for change of venue, likewise on September 17th. Okay, we know all that. Basically, this is Rob Wood saying what we talked about earlier, the definition between a lay and expert testimony regarding these people that the defense wants to bring to testify about these surveys. Okay, saying that they lack the curriculum vitae. The state did not, the state did not attach Mr. Adriani's survey to this brief. Oh, okay. He's just saying, we don't know if these people are experts. No supporting data, no polling instrument, underlying formula, empirical research, or documentation was included. So this is Rob Wood saying they may have done a survey, Your Honor, but who on earth thinks that this is, scientific or appropriate or, up to a certain level of professionalism kind of thing. So they're going to argue about that a lot. All right, Pink Pajama needs a link to Discord. Give me 1 second. Here you go. Here's a link to Discord. All right, so it goes on to talk about the differences between lay and expert testimony. Right, what makes a witness a lay witness? What do they have to prove in order to be considered by the court an expert witness? Remember, an expert witness is allowed to testify to their opinion of things, not simply the facts of whatever they're being called for. So that's an important distinction, and they're going to argue about that. Now, here's something interesting, an interesting legal thing. When I was researching the motions in limine, I was wondering, well, why isn't Rob Wood filing a Daubert motion to just remove these people from testifying? That's another way to prevent an expert witness. But that's a little different scenario. Okay, so I had to school myself on that. But I found it very interesting when I'm reading this part, and it says, it cites the Daubert standard here in this document. I was like, I wasn't as far off as I thought I was. So that was just a happy moment of, yay, I'm not an idiot. But he talks about, the lack of scientific basis and foundation for this. But that's part of what Mark Means has to show. He has to show foundation. He has to show that they have skill and training in doing these types of surveys and bringing it to the court. So that's what he's going to try and do today. This is Rob Wood's very well done brief. Lots of case citations, lots of precedent, all kinds of stuff saying this probably shouldn't happen. Okay, so hopefully the judge has had time to review all these documents today. This was filed on the 6th, so we're getting it late. We're getting it 2 days later, so the judge has most likely had time to go through this. And if you want to read the entire thing, it's very good. It's very legalese, if you want, but it is up in Discord. So that is Rob Wood's position for his arguments today. But there's still more. Let's go on. I'm going to show you a different page because this is not on the court page. Mark Means filed a subpoena today for Heather Daybell. Here we go. It's on your screen. Heather Daybell, you are hereby commanded to appear for the motion hearing in this matter scheduled for March 22nd at 9 a.m. Now, what is this about? You may be asking. Heather Daybell is the wife of Matt Daybell, who is Chad's brother. Okay, Heather Daybell and Matt Daybell have had some public statements along the line before the children were found, urging Chad to come out and tell the truth and tell where the kids are, all that kind of stuff. So they've been pretty vocal about how they feel about Chad in this situation. But after the children were found, Heather Daybell, who is the president of the women's stake, I'm not sure how all the LDS stuff breaks down, but she has some position of authority within the women's group of the LDS church in her stake or ward. All right. So Heather release a statement saying what she thought or knew about Chad Daybell and his involvement in the case. Now, Mark Means wants to bring that into the change of venue because certainly her putting that letter out would influence the thoughts of anybody that would reach. And remember, Rexburg is like, 95, 98% LDS. So that letter probably got certainly to her whole stake, maybe even further. But that could be, a statement that could impact a fair jury. So he needs to get that in. So that is why she has been subpoenaed for that hearing. Lorian said, the Stake Relief Society president. Thank you, Lorian. Thank you. I don't understand all of those titles and how all that breaks down, so I forget exactly what they called her. But she has a position of some sort of authority within that ward or that stake, and she sent out a letter that could be seen as prejudicial. So that is why Mark Means is subpoenaing her, and we should expect to see her and the letter at the change of venue hearing. All right, now this is the front page. For some reason on the court document, the front page is missing. But thankfully, Justin Lum got his hands on it and put it up for us. Big thanks and shout out to Justin Lum. You can follow him at Justin Lum Fox 10 on Twitter. He is wonderful. Okay, so that's what that is. Now, let's move on. What's next? What is next in this thing? That was a speed. Next, we have a specific recovery request. A specific request of discovery pursuant to Idaho Criminal Rule 16. All right, now this one's kind of funny. I mean, I shouldn't say it's funny. This case is not funny. But this filing, I had a chuckle over this, I will admit. Let me bring it up on your screen. All right, here we go. Now, remember that the change of venue is coming up at the end of the month. And one of the things that Mark Means is going to attempt to prove to the court is that there's no way they can get a fair jury in Rexburg or Fremont County. I agree with him on that. All right, I don't think there are many people in that area that have not heard of this case and don't already know in their mind 100% that Lori and Chad are guilty. That's not a fair and impartial jury. Okay, so I support the change of venue motion. And I don't think they're really going to fight too hard over that. But in this filing right here, he's talking about, he's trying to make a request of discovery from Rob Wood for authorities, jailers, Madison Sheriff County Department, Madison County Detention Center, Rexburg Police, just on and on and on. He lists everybody. Okay. Why? What on earth does he want all of that from? And what it stems from, oh, goodness, Keith Morrison's new podcast, Mommy Doomsday. Oh, my goodness. So Keith Morrison, as you know, has a podcast. I think there's 4 or 5 episodes out now called Mommy Doomsday, where he's going over this case. All right. One of the things that Mark Means cites here in his motion, let me scroll down to it, is a statement that apparently was made by Keith during the podcast. And it says, despite the criminal allegations against Lori, Keith says he's heard from authorities that she remains convinced she's on the right path. He shares the stories that we have heard from her jailers are that she's reading Chad's books. She's writing him letters. She's dancing in her cell. She still seems to be caught up in the belief that she is going to be swept out of all of this and taken up to heaven sometime in the next little while. Okay. All right. Now that's coming from Keith Morrison. This is what he said that he heard from the jailers. So Mark Means wants to know, well, who told him that? What are the jailers saying? They're not supposed to be talking about my client like this, especially to media. What's going on? All right. However, I don't think issuing a discovery motion against Rob Wood is going to get him anywhere. It's not like Rob Wood is directing people at the jail to talk to Keith Morrison. I doubt there's a connection there. I really don't think that's what Rob Wood is up to. But for some reason, Mark Means thinks going after Rob Wood to get information about the jailers. I don't know. I'm sure he could just call the jail and find out, I don't know what he's doing. I don't know. This is the spaghetti thing again. We know Mark Means, bless his heart, likes to throw spaghetti at the walls and see what happens. So that's what this is about. All right. So I don't know. I don't even know. Let's move on. There are 2 more filings today still to get through. This is a declared motion pursuant to the United States Constitution, Article 4, Section 1. Let me put this up on your screen. This is another thing. Good grief. All right. Oh, my goodness. I don't even know. What this document is Mark Means filing with the court saying that, this constitutional article 4, Section 1, blah, blah, blah. The court, he's pretty much ordering the court, or certainly moving the court. Defendant moves this court to order all headings for this legal proceeding, past and in the future, to identify his client as Lori Noreen Ryan Vallow Daybell, or Mrs. Daybell. And he attaches a copy of their marriage certificate. All right. What is this all about, Mr. Means? Well, honestly, guys, you know that I've kind of been defending Mark Means for a while, saying he's doing his job. This does just look like a complete waste of time. It does. There's no need for this, but whatever. He's earning his pay. He's been very busy with the filings. Oh, goodness. But, he lists, go through her names. Ryan, Vallow, Daybell. What about her other names? Lori Cox, Yanes, LaJoya, Ryan, Vallow, Daybell. That's her name if you wanted to go this route. How come Nelson Yanes and William LaJoya don't count? She was married to them too. Why are they not? What? Come on, man. So yeah, he wants her called Mrs. Daybell. I'm very concerned. Well, not concerned. I'm curious. Not concerned at all. Curious as to see what John Pryor thinks of this, because I have a feeling John Pryor would prefer her to say Lori Vallow to create some mental separation between his defendant and Lori going to trial. But we'll see what happens there. But yeah, Beth, I agree. That's coming straight from Lori. She wants to be Lori Daybell. So whatever. Mark Means did his filing. That's what he gets paid the big bucks for, apparently. Next. Here we go. There's another one. Let me put this on the screen. I'm so tired. I need a cup of tea or something. All right. This is the defendant's objection in response to motion to compel and motion in limine. I've read through it. I've gone through it earlier when it first came up. It's just Mark Means objecting to the state's motion in limine, which we knew was coming. So they're arguing about, well, is it a lay witness or not? And if he's going to say it's a lay witness, then he can't hold him to the bar of an expert witness because he says himself that they're a lay witness. Just, I don't even want to hear it anymore. I don't want to hear it. So that's all this filing is arguing about that. He's putting forth his argument. We're going to hear all of this in the hearing. So I'm not going to bother reading through it all because I don't really care. I don't. This is one of those things where, honestly, like Steve said earlier, this doesn't matter. This part right here doesn't matter. Oh, Miss Sophia, thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate it. I would so much rather be in bed today than doing this, but whatever. Here we are. This is our deal. So thank you. I appreciate the support that helps me to keep doing this, even when I'm not feeling so good. So, all right, these are all the filings that we've had. And see, that took us half an hour just to run through them without reading them. You guys know normally I like to read through it, like line by line, and really get into it. So just flying through them like that took half an hour. So, whew. Does law school teach speed reading? Maybe. I don't know. I'm going to find out. I have been exploring my options to get my law license, or law degree at least. I have to start with the LSAT, so I'm going to work on that. And I will let you know if we have a speed reading class. That would be fun. I could use that. Oh, goodness. So I need a sip of soda, and then we're going to get into today's hearing. Judy McGuire, yes, there is a hearing today. It'll start in about 30 minutes. I just started the live early because we had so many new filings today that I knew it was going to take a long time to go over it. And I wanted to get through it before we get to the hearing. So what's really happening today? Today is supposed to be the motion to compel hearing. And let me bring up the original motion to compel so we know what this was originally scheduled for. But that has since kind of changed. So let me bring up the original motion to compel. That is right here. Oops. Did I just break my computer? I don't know if you guys can still hear me. I think I've broken my computer. Hold on. Let me open another Chrome browser.
Yeah, you're still good.
Yeah, I'm still good. You can still hear me?
Yeah.
All right. My Google Chrome has completely locked up. So give me 1 second and hopefully I'll be back. Close Google Chrome. Okay, can you hear me now? Haha, am I back? Let me double check. Let me refresh. YouTube, is it going? There we go. I am sorry about that. I don't know what happened. My Google Chrome just did not want to show you the motion to compel. So I'm just going to leave it closed because apparently that's some bad juju. Oh, my goodness. All right, you guys can hear me. All right, good. I'm sorry about that. I don't know what's happening. I think just opening and sharing all these different documents, StreamYard just was like, nope, stop it. Just stop it. They don't want to see them any more than we do. Yeah, we want to see justice for the kids, not all of this nonsense. Okay, but there it is on the screen. Back to StreamYard. Okay, we're good. So today's hearing is supposed to be about this motion to compel. This is Rob Wood asking the court to compel the defense team to turn over the name, the CV, the report, all the stuff about this survey team, Ironwood Insights, that is retained by the defense to do a survey about the change of venue. All right, so Rob Wood is like, hey, if they're going to bring this up at the change of venue hearing, then they have to turn over all of this information. All right, but we know from previous filings that Mark Means did not want to turn over the name of the person behind Ironwood Insights because that person wanted to either appear privately or something like that. He didn't want his name out there. So we're going to be hearing about that today. Although since the time of this filing, Mark Means has turned that information over. So what are we doing? Okay. It appears that Mark Means has already met the information that Rob Wood is asking for in this motion to compel. But we have all the other stuff that happened in the meantime. The 2 motions in limine, probably, or the main thing of what we're going to hear. There is not a new judge. This will be before Judge Stephen Boyce today, who has been the judge since it went to district court. So we'll be hearing that today. I'm closing some of my other tabs. Give me a minute to make sure we don't crash again because I don't like crashing. All right, so this is what we're having. Let me check up with chat because I want to see what you guys are thinking. Let's see. Hi, Brennan Tube. How are you? Hi, Mercini, Karen, Christy, Rosie. I'm so glad you're here. Tina, Mary Rose. It's just Robbie. How are you doing today? Karen, Barbara, Carrie Ann, Lisa, Mary Rose. Mark Means wakes up every day plotting how to make trouble. No, he doesn't, Mary Rose. He wakes up every day wondering how best he can do his job to defend his client. We don't like it because we don't like Lori, but he is doing his job. Okay. Chad is preparing a new anti-document portal. Sam, that would be a good idea. I can see Chad doing that. Yeah. He's trying to make a portal potty in his cell. Lori is apparently dancing around her cell and reading Chad's books because I guess that's what we do. Jess, I'm so glad you're here. Are you feeling okay? Jess has been under the weather. I'm so glad you made it here. I hope you're okay. And I hope the kids are doing fine. Yes, justice for the kids. That's what this is about. And that's something that I wanted to talk about is, you know that I love the legal stuff, right? I like to see how these courts are arguing all of these finer points. And what does a motion in limine mean? What does this mean? What is that declaration? I love that, the legal technical side of it. However, I'm just as frustrated as everyone else with all of this stuff in this case, because this is not about the kids. Nothing we're going to hear today is about JJ and Tylee. None of it. This is about, well, I want this done. Well, I want that paper. Well, I need this paper. Well, you didn't give me that. Judge, it's like they're bickering. Wood and the defense team, they're just bickering back and forth. If I were the judge, what I would like to say is, all right, defense team, both of you, put all of your papers and documents on your table. Spread them all out. Rob Wood, put all of your papers and documents and stuff on your table. Spread it all out. Okay, everybody ready? Good. Stand up and switch tables. You're done. Discovery is sorted. Right? Can we just do that so we can move on with the actual trial? I would love to be able to say that. Certainly, that's not how our justice system works. That's not how it works. So we have to go through all this stuff to get there. Cleta Newbie asks, is this live today? It will be live in about 24 minutes. Yes, the hearing starts in 24 minutes. I will bring that to you live right here on the screen. You don't have to go anywhere. We just got to wait. But yeah, Sam, this is lawyerly bickering. Absolutely. It's lawyerly bickering. I'm hoping the judge will, at some point, we got to put a stop to this kind of stuff. No, there's not a new judge. This will be before Judge Boyce. Judge Edens cannot hear any of these motions because he is not in the district court. He's a magistrate judge, or vice versa, however that is. But he's in a different tier of the court system than this case is right now. So we won't see Judge Edens again, unfortunately. I did like him a lot. Judge Edens was cute. Not only was he cute, but he kept a pretty tight control of his courtroom, and I liked that. So... But, yep, it'll be on at 2:30 Pacific time, 3:30 Mountain time, 4:30 Central, 5:30 Eastern. So 23 minutes now. So today's motion hearing, we're going to go over the two motions in limine. We're going to hear them arguing back and forth about whether these people that Mark Means and John Pryor want to put forth as witnesses, since they were the ones who took the survey, whether they are considered lay witnesses or expert witnesses, if the judge will even allow them. Because that's what the motion in limine is to keep them from testifying, to keep their information out of the court, because Rob Wood does not think it's scientific or based in any factual sort of thing. All right, so we're going to hear a lot of arguing today. We're going to hear, hopefully, not so much from John Pryor. You guys know that when John Pryor starts talking, I get a little triggered because he does that very self-righteous, almost victim sort of thing. Well, Your Honor, clutch my pearls. I expect to hear him say that one of these days. Clutch my pearls, Your Honor. I think I should be allowed to ask for foundation or something. You know how Pryor is, but Pryor gets to me really badly. Oh. But it's going to be a fun time. All right, let me read up on some chat. Yeah, we all like Judge Edens. He was cool. Is Judge Edens over Lori's other charges? Nope, the judge in Madison County, that is the female judge. I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but she is ruling over Lori's charges in Madison County. And then Judge Boyce and Judge Watkins are handling this case, although the cases were joined now, so it's really just Judge Boyce. It was Boyce and Watkins, but now it's all transferred to Judge Boyce since they have they got the motion for joinder granted. Let's see. Yeah, and the motion for joinder does not cover the misdemeanor charges that Lori's facing in Madison County. That's a whole separate case. So is Grandma Lucille on witness list? Grandma Lucille who? I don't know who that is. Followed every word in this case, and tonight is... Oh, Fiona, that was last night. The Harry and Meghan interview was last night on TV. So, I don't know. I watched it. I'm a little embarrassed to admit that I did watch it, but being married to a Brit, of course, the royal family is something I watch. We don't need to get into my opinions about who's right and who's wrong, but I did watch it. Oh, Tammy's deceased grandmother. Yeah, Tammy is on the witness list, which is like, I don't think that that Rob Wood has had any conversations with Tammy Daybell. But if he did, Mark Means would like to see it. Okay. All right. All right. Sorry. Trying to mute a little bit when I take drinks because I get yelled at for slurping once. Oh, you guys in the UK have not seen the interview yet. Oh, goodness. Well, have fun. It's pretty big. There were some shocking things mentioned in that interview. Let's see. How do they decide which judge gets it? I'm not sure. I mean, they did decide already. It's gone to Judge Boyce. I don't know. It could be which judge has the more open schedule or whatever. But they decided that this case will be heard by Judge Boyce. This motion, Leah Vogel asks, what is this motion for? Today's hearing should be covering the motion to compel from Rob Wood to ask for all of the information regarding the survey takers that are going to be presented during the change of venue hearing, as well as for them to most likely argue Rob Wood's 2 motions in limine, which he's trying to eliminate those said witnesses. So that's why it's a little confusing, because technically the information that Rob Wood is asking for in the motion to compel has mostly been provided now. So that's almost a moot point. But now Rob Wood is saying, well, they're not experts. They shouldn't be here. We don't want to hear from them. So the judge is going to have to decide that. And that's going to be an interesting argument between the two sides. Amber says, my impressions of the people and the bickering are spot on. Thank you. The mere thought of watching Tammy's ghost on the stand makes me feel faint. Yeah, Sam, it really does. Parmdari says, I hope Judge Boyce has control of his courtroom. One thing that we've seen from Judge Boyce is that he is, a lot of us feel that he's a little permissive. Some of the things that John Pryor has said, I found completely over the top. And if I were the judge, I would have wanted to tell him, bring it down a few notches, buddy. But Judge Boyce is doing what a judge is supposed to do. Be unbiased, listen to both sides of the arguments, and then apply the law as it stands to those arguments, not get personally involved with them. So we're going to have to wait and see what he says today. Change of jurisdiction. Oh, Amy Celeste had a question. I missed it. I'm sorry. And my YouTube is buffering. I'm not sure why, so bear with me. If the stream goes down for some reason, I'm not sure what's going on. But if it does go down, I will restart it immediately. So just refresh YouTube and you'll see the new one come up on my screen. Okay, we have 17 minutes before the hearing starts. So we'll be starting just soon. Now, all of the documents that we went over today, they are posted in Discord. Let me drop another invite link to Discord. I post all of the PDFs, or, if it's just one page, I'll just put the page up. But you can see everything that I see. I put there. Sound is gone? Is the sound gone? Dave, can you hear me on YouTube? My husband's checking. Hold on. Yeah, there's a link to Discord where you can find all of the documents. Okay, you can hear me. Okay, good. Little Lady Di tried refreshing because other people can hear me. So there you go. I almost feel like John Pryor's attitude wouldn't be as tolerated if they were in an actual courtroom instead of a Zoom call. Brennan Tube, that is a really good point. We have talked about that quite a lot lately. These Zoom hearings. Certainly some of the stuff that we've seen in the news. There was a recent Zoom hearing where a doctor was in the operating room performing surgery when he went to traffic court via Zoom. And the judge is like, what? Are you nuts? So, yeah, that was a problem. So we're having a lot of strange issues with Zoom hearings lately. And here you go. There's a link for Andrea, who's asking a link to Patreon. There are links to everything in the description. If you want Discord is totally free to use. So please come on over. Patreon, all that good stuff is in the description. So the Zoom hearings. I also agree that the Zoom hearings are really changing the face of how these things are done. We saw one, I put it in Discord yesterday. I know Jess and I watched it. It was a Zoom hearing for a domestic violence issue. And the woman who had called the police on her boyfriend was there in her little window. She was there with the prosecutor, and her boyfriend that she alleged had hurt her, that she had filed charges on, he was also in his little window. Turned out that they were in the same apartment, just like next to each other. That shouldn't be happening, right? But the prosecutor really picked up on this. And I'm not sure how she picked up on it. She must have had another clue, because I didn't see too much in the video that would have tipped me off that they were actually inside the same apartment. But she had police outside who knocked on the door and was like, get out of there. That was kind of amazing to me. But that just shows that the kind of shenanigans that can go on with the Zoom hearings. It's not good. It is definitely not good. And certainly in this case, with the Zoom hearings, remember the motion to disqualify the prosecutor hearing that we watched, where we had one of their witnesses, Attorney Garrett Smith, just like get up in the middle of his sworn testimony to go answer the door. You certainly would not do that in a court of law. And we had one of their expert witnesses with a really bad green screen, dogs barking, kids running around the house. It's like that. Oh, good grief. This is why Zoom hearings are problematic. And we can expect a lot of these cases that have rulings that have had Zoom hearings be argued for appeal for decades. This is something that we need to fix quickly before everything goes down the tubes. There's a lawyer drinking on Zoom. Great. Oh, good grief. Yeah, there was also a video of a lawyer who had finished the Zoom hearing, but forgotten to turn it off and was videoed having intimate relations on camera in front of the judge. Can you imagine? Thank God our defense attorneys that we're watching here know how to turn their computers off, because that's not something I want to see. No. Yep, Brennan Tube, the cat filter. We definitely had that. So yeah, the Zoom hearings I think are problematic, because when you're sitting in your bedroom or in your living room and you're chit-chatting on your computer, it doesn't feel serious. You don't feel the weight of testifying in a court of law. So I think that's a big problem. But we're going to have to see what happens. I think we'll hear a lot of appeals, a lot of litigation about Zoom hearings in the future. Shannon, that doesn't bear thinking about. Oh, wait until a witness is testifying on Zoom and stands up revealing no pants. Gritty Grat, I'm surprised we haven't seen that yet. I really am. Oh. Did you see the one where the public defender hung up the Zoom call? Brennan Tube, that was astounding. There was a Zoom hearing where the public defender was not in agreement with her client, and she got so mad. She asked the judge, I want to be taken off the case. And the judge said, no. And she said, yeah, well, I'm off the case, and hung up the Zoom call and walked away. Like, wow. You can't do that in a court of law. You certainly cannot. That bailiff would grab you by the neck, like, sit down. Little Lady Di, thank you for the super chat. It says, you are amazing. I love that sticker. That is so cool. Thank you. That really helps me keep doing this. It lifts my spirits up when my voice is on its way out the door. So I'm glad this is a hearing, so they can do the talking and I can just watch. I'm going to have a nice cup of tea when it starts. Oh, man. Yeah, so today's hearing. Now, Jay Stella says, I personally like the guy here in Sacramento where I live that was doing his plastic surgery. Yeah, that was the one that I saw that. And the judge was like, is that a patient? Are you in the operating room? And he was like, yeah. He's like, yeah, we're going to reschedule this. He's like, no, I can do it. I'm fine. Now, as a patient, I would be very upset to think that my surgeon was trying to do a court hearing while he's operating on me. I wouldn't be happy about that. Not at all. So I think the judge did the right thing there. It's not like you're, just sitting down at your desk with a client or just talking to somebody. But you actually got somebody on your operating table under anesthesia with a knife in your hand. You don't need to be distracted, Good grief. Even though he said there was another surgeon in the room, that's not the point. One thing at a time, just focus. Ask for a discount. Yeah, definitely. Oh, but I mean, that could be opening up to a lawsuit for him. That could be a HIPAA violation. God forbid anything went wrong in that surgery. He would have all kinds of lawsuits. You just know it. So, that was crazy stuff. All right, so let's give a check of the time. We've got 10 minutes before this hearing starts. We'll start refreshing Judge Boyce's feed. So I'll bring it to you as soon as it happens. One thing I want to make a little quick announcement about Discord. A lot of people have recently joined in the last couple of weeks. When you join the Discord server, you're not going to see much. You may only see a couple of channels. What you need to do is read the information in the welcome room when you come in. It says welcome to the server, yada, yada, and it asks you to please review the rules and info channel, and then you'll get access to the rest of the server. You have to click the rules and info channel and then put a reaction into the rules just to show that you've read them before you can see anything. So if you join the server and you're like, there's nothing here, there's nothing to talk, where are the channels, what's going on? It's because you didn't verify your account by going to rules and info. So please take a second and do that because I don't want you to miss anything. We've been doing some watch parties lately, which have been a ton of fun. All the documents are there, all the cases. Let's talk about Jess Nelson's new channel. Look at Jess Nelson's name in chat. She is Jess Nelson Mistrial. And hopefully one of the mods can grab a link to her new channel. She's going to start covering some true crime cases. So you definitely want to follow Jess. But she has her own section of Discord where you can talk to her about the cases she's doing and her videos. It's really cool. Yeah, and all y'all know Paul from Reporting Live from My Sofa. He hangs around in Discord, so you can get in touch with all of us through the Discord server. It's a great place to be. Brendan Tube, thank you for the super chat. She says, thank you for streaming and explaining everything. My pleasure. Rosie, thank you. Oh, look at the koalas. Yay. Rosie has her koala icon. That's so cute. I love it. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it, especially today. I just want to go to bed. I don't want to listen to Mark Means. I don't want to listen to John Pryor. I don't care about these witnesses, whether they're lay witnesses or experts. I really don't care. I just want to go to bed. But that's what we got to do. We got to do this. Give me 1 second. I need a huge drink. Where's my mute button? 1 sec. Okay. My goodness. Oh, wait. Oh, that tickled. It is mountain cedar time here in Texas. This is the time of year they call it the mountain cedar flu. It hits me really hard every year. But I've got the itchy, watery eyes, the post-nasal drip that is making my throat just absolutely unhappy. My throat is very unhappy. So Stacy Markert asks, who's Heather? I'm assuming you're talking about the subpoena. That is Heather Daybell. That is Chad's sister-in-law. She is married to Matt Daybell, Chad's brother. And they have come out, definitely not in defense of Chad, but Heather issued a statement through her women's group in the LDS church about her position regarding Chad. And so Mark Means wants to subpoena her to use that in the change of venue hearing. I did watch the documentary Gravedigger's Wife. Yep, it was pretty good. Actually, we did a watch party for that in Discord. That's why everyone should be in Discord because it's a lot of fun there. Hi, Cement Shoes. How are you doing? I hope you're doing really well. I'm glad to see you here. And Salty Idaho, I'm glad you're here too. And you brought fudge? Excellent. You are my best friend. I need some fudge. Oh. So yeah, I'm dealing with mountain cedar flu allergy stuff. So it'll pass in another week or two. You swear by Zicam. This is allergy, so I'm not sure cold meds would work, but I do have prescription allergy meds that work wonders, but they knock me out. So I can't take one or I would be sound asleep. Yes, the Idaho Spuds. Salty Idaho, that's one of my mods. She lives in Idaho, and she sent me this care package with this Idaho Spud candy. That was the most interesting thing I've ever tasted. I can't even describe to you what it tastes like. It's sweet. It's yummy. It was covered in chocolate and I think coconut. It was just really good. So yeah, Idaho Spud candy is a thing. It's a very good thing. a Flonase believer. Emily, we have that, the Flonase. I can't do it. I can't squirt stuff up my nose. I'm just not cut out for that. Other people in the family use it, and I can't. It does something to my brain. Tess from California. Tessie Cooper, nice to meet you. I'm glad you're here. And let's give another check of the time. We're starting in 5 minutes. All right, so now it's time. Grab your drinks, grab your snack. 5 minutes, and this hearing is going to get going. I'm not sure how long it's going to go for. I don't anticipate it being longer than an hour and a half tops, because I think both attorneys, both sides have gotten their arguments out in the motions. The judge has probably read them, so there may be a little bit of a back and forth, but it should be a pretty quick thing, assuming all we're going to talk about are the motions in limine. If it goes into all the other stuff, we could be here a lot longer, so be prepared. Hi, Danielle. I'm glad to see you here. And Mag, thank you for the super chat. Hope you feel better soon. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I do. And we still don't have running water, for those people who are asking. I have not had running water in my apartment since February the 17th. I'm getting a little salty now. I am. Not okay. However, my landlord is being a little bit more proactive with this. They did bring us some bottled water. They're still filling up buckets with other water we can use to flush the toilets. And she even called today and said they had hoped it would be back on today, but it's not going to. Would we like them to get us a hotel room for the night? So that was wonderful. They're really starting to be like, yeah, we actually have a responsibility here to these tenants. So thank you for that. So, things are looking up. Definitely looking up. Serious, you're anxious to see if Mark Means has the antlers coming out of his head. Oh, well, Mark is going to be hard to listen to, but it should be interesting this time around. Well, I think with Mark Means, I would listen to him all day over John Pryor, because Mark Means at least puts forth his legal argument. He says, here's my legal argument. This is what's going on. Da, 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 da. And his case citations and stuff without all of the manipulative stuff that Pryor does. So, yeah, I like him much better. All right, it's coming live. I'm going to open it right now. It's not live yet. As soon as it goes live, I'll make it full screen, and I will mute myself and turn the volume way up because we don't want to miss a minute. So yes, it's coming. It's coming. Any minute now. This should be fun. Mark Bean's office decor is weird. It's not my cup of tea. I certainly don't have dead animals and guns hanging up on my walls, but, to each their own, I guess. And I believe I heard a rumor, and I have not confirmed it yet. I would like to confirm that was a gift from someone he represented in a family court case. I'm not sure. Be kind. Thank you so much for the super chat. I really appreciate that. Oh, we've gotten to talk a lot more lately, and it's been great. I've been so happy having you around. She says, thank you, Ewan. Love the channel, mods, and community. Awesome. I'm very glad you're happy here. Hi, RDNAC. How are you doing? Glad to see you. See you, Ride Strike. The Antlers decor. Yep. Oh, and Emily's giving out the chocolate frosted donuts. Yeah. That's what I need. I need a Krispy Kreme fix. That always makes allergies better. Let me just checking in on the judge's site. There's no noise from the courtroom yet. No video. So they're getting ready. Oh, I have to cough 1 second. Oh, managed to hit that microphone button before I coughed. I'm starting to hear a few little noises. So hopefully this is going to get going soon. If they take recesses, we'll talk about what we just heard, and we'll discuss it after the hearing is over too, to see what happens. I do not expect to see Chad or Lori in the court today. This is a procedural hearing that they will probably waive their right to appear at because they don't need to be here for this. Oh, I'm hearing somebody sitting in their chair. Also, thank you to the mods. Every time I go to moderate a comment when it asks, you guys have already done it. You are on the spot today. Thank you, as always. But thank you so much for being here. I cannot do this without any of my mods, so please give them a round of applause because they are the best mod team ever, anywhere in all of YouTube. Oh, I'm seeing John Pryor. John Pryor always has his microphone and camera on when he's not supposed to. When everyone else goes away, you always hear him talking on the cell phone. You see him on the screen. He's not good at Zoom. He is not good at Zoom. Mark Means is a little bit better at Zoom than John Pryor is. Let me close all these other tabs. Make sure we don't have any accidents. Because we got to see this. Oh, cement shoes, my allergies too. Man, this is not fun. Oh, why does it look like it's buffering? The judge's page is buffering. Oh, and there's Rob Wood. Hello, Mr. Wood. How are you doing? Glad to see you. You don't need to be on camera yet either. Yeah, they need to work on their Zoom. Oh, here we go, I think. Maybe? No? Nobody knows. I see Rob Wood just looking at his screen. Yeah, this should be live any minute. And then I'll make it full screen. I'll mute myself because I need to cough again anyway. I have the worst tickles in my throat. All right, here we go. Making it full screen, and I'll mute myself.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pryor, Mr. Means.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, Judge.
And Mr. Wood.
Good afternoon.
All right, this is the time we have scheduled on some motions on these cases. Before we start, there's a matter I need to discuss with counsel, Mr. Means and Mr. Wood. I'd like to just have a brief discussion off the record in a breakout room. So, Madam Clerk, if you could arrange for a breakout room, I'd invite Mr. Wood and Mr. Means to join. If you'll hold tight for a minute there, Mr. Pryor will come back on and commence the hearings this afternoon.
So you, Mr. Wood, and Mr. Means, correct?
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure I have the correct.
Well, that was short-lived. They're going to a breakout room, so yeah, hi. How y'all doing? Come on, man. Oh, goodness. So yeah, I have no idea how long this will take. This could be 5 minutes. It could be 20. We don't know. But yeah, I'll keep it there. As soon as it starts, we'll go back to it. But you can all hear it all right, I hope. Can you hear me? Why do I look like I'm muted? Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah, I didn't just turn on the hearing and be like, I'm going to go take a nap. That would be bad. Oh, goodness. So they have a lot to talk about. I hope the judge really just says, can y'all just give each other the papers and be done with this? We'll see. Debbie asked how the water situation. The water is still out today. The plumbers were back digging around the ground. They can't find the leak. Apparently what the problem is there was a pipe that burst underground of the building that I live in, and they cannot locate the leak. So they're just kind of like randomly digging, looking for this leak, which is not good. Like, you just leave the water on and, soon enough there will be a sinkhole, then you'll find it. That could work. Of course, knowing my luck, the sinkhole would be directly under my car. So, yeah, not a good plan. But anyway. Oh, yes, anticipation. Mm-hmm. Hi, Paul. I see you. How you doing? Paul has water. I'm going to go to Paul's house, take a shower in North Carolina. It's coming to that. All right, so we were waiting for them to come back. They were in a breakout room. What a breakout room would be like if they went to have a discussion in chambers or something, a private conversation, not on the record. So they go into a breakout room in Zoom where they can, have a private discussion that's not being publicly broadcast. So I'm not sure what they're talking about. We are not privy to that information. So I don't know. Candy Lee asked, can't they use ground penetrating sonar? I have no idea how they're going to find it. Nope, no idea. Plumbing is not something I've ever become educated about. But yes, being without water has been very inconvenient. Can't wash dishes, can't wash our hands during a global pandemic, can't take a shower, can't brush your teeth. So we're going through gallons and gallons of bottled water every day. At least we're able to buy it now. There were a couple, about 7 to 10 days where all the stores were out of water. You couldn't buy bottled water. That was a problem. That was definitely a problem. Oh, use dye to find the leak. Now that sounds smart. That's a smart thing. Maybe I should call the plumbers and be like, hey, about that leak. Yo, Sue Bell, my husband, said we should get the dowsing rods out and just go find it ourselves. We probably could find it faster. It's taken them 2.5 weeks and they can't find it. So yeah, we'll go out with dowsing rods and find it. That would be amazing. Can you imagine if that worked? Call the plumber and be like, I found it. Jerks. The shenanigans. Oh, goodness. Love to love them. The Tati Westbrook, Katie Joy case without a crystal ball. That's, there is some legal shenanigans. If you want to get into crazy legal stuff, that's an amazing case to follow. For sure. Sometimes they have a camera on the end of a reel of tube and they can find, yep, that could work too. I don't know what they're doing. We've had, I guess, a bunch of different plumbers have come out and haven't been able to find anything. So they keep calling new plumbers and who knows when it's going to get resolved. I don't know. But they haven't been successful yet. Oh, I'm so sorry I keep drinking, but my throat is super tickly. Wait, somebody says, very sorry, Emily. What happened to Emily? Let me scroll up. Emily, what did I miss? Are you okay? Oh, you had to put your dog down. Oh no. Emily, I'm so sorry. Oh, I had to do that last year with one of my kitties. That is heartbreaking. I'm very sorry. And keeping your puppy lifted up in prayer. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. See, right. You're hearing a kitty or child. You're hearing kids outside. It's a beautiful day here in Texas, about 70 degrees. The kids are outside playing. I have my windows open because it's so nice. So you're going to hear that, unfortunately. I do live in an apartment, so there are lots of noises around. Just empty. Oh, Emily. Well, we're thinking of even sending you all the love and light that there is. Oh, goodness. So yeah, this breakout room, I hope they're done soon because this is boring. There's so many legal arguings to be had today. I'm really interested to hear how they're going to bicker back and forth in front of the judge and what the judge will ultimately rule. I have a sneaky feeling that he will grant the motions in limine because the two people that he filed the motions in limine about are not Ironwood Insights anyway. These are people that did a survey months ago. We heard about it through Nate Eaton of East Idaho News. He was the first one to report that people had reported to him that they had been approached on the street by people surveying them about their thoughts about the case. So we heard about that. Geez, I think it was last summer even. A very long time ago. And certainly at this point in time, that survey doesn't even matter because opinions change over time. Certainly with the heavy media coverage that there has been, people could have changed their minds one way or another. So it's not even really a relevant survey because it was so long ago. The Ironwoods Insight survey that I think has not happened yet or has just happened is far more relevant. And that's a totally different person than the two people mentioned in the motions in limine. So I have a feeling that the judge will grant the motions in limine and tell Mark Means, you can pursue the Ironwood Insights guy, but you have to turn over all of the information that Rob Wood is asking for. That's what I expect to hear. Would I put money on that? Maybe. Remember, I'm not a lawyer. I am guessing. So don't put your money on my guesses. Let's just wait and see what happens. Amy Gibbs, hi, I'm glad to see you. How are you doing? I hope all is going well. And Jean and Miss Sophia and Cynthia. Hello, everyone. Oh, Jody says, losing a fur bae is just like losing a family member. It really is, Jody. It really, really is. Yep. Because they are family members. Our furry little families. Be Kind says, if it gets to be too much in a couple of days, will I recap? I'm not sure what you mean, what you're asking. Will I recap the hearing? Not necessarily, because the hearing will be available on my channel. You can always just go back and watch it. what I do is after the hearing, we'll sit and talk and kind of sum it all up. And so if you just want to skip to the end of the video, you'll be able to get a good recap. Parm says, everyone has heard about the case and with the new documentary. Yeah, see, Parm, that's why I support the change of venue, even though I don't think, I mean, where could they move it to? If they could move it out of state, which they cannot, but if they could, where would they move it to? Where's nobody heard about the case? In the modern day, with the internet that we have, everyone's heard about this case. Anyone who's into true crime, they may be able to find people who don't watch this stuff, which I can't imagine. Who doesn't watch true crime? That's not a thing. So they may have to look high and far for an impartial jury, but certainly moving it out of Rexburg is a good idea. And the defense attorneys are paying attention to the coverage. They're watching some of the YouTubes. They're watching listening to Keith Morrison's new podcast. Mark Means even brings it up in his motion today. So, this is really, really it's being covered everywhere. The media is saturated with coverage of this case. It's been on 2020. It's been on Dateline. It's hard to miss this case. It really is. You'd have to live under a rock to not have heard about it. So I think they have a very valid point for a change of venue hearing, especially given the nature of just the culture in Rexburg and Madison County, with the LDS Church being so prevalent there, and we've had statements from the LDS Church tangentially about this case, but the statement from Heather Daybell is a big deal. All this stuff, it's a big deal. So, but that hearing isn't even until March 22nd. Beth, thank you so much for the super chat. Says you're doing such a great job. Thank you, Beth. I really appreciate that. Very, very much. Yep, Dr. Phil and Dr. Oz. It's been on all the stuff. So, if you're on the internet, you probably heard of the case. If you ever watch TV, ABC or CBS, you've heard about the case, or NBC for Dateline. It's just everywhere. They can bring in a jury from another county. I would guess that they're probably going to push to move to Boise. We've heard rumblings about that, So, bet the little green men on the moon are watching the case. Probably. Yes, Nancy Grace has definitely covered this case. Yeah. Wonder if the recent earthquakes got L'Oreal jazzed. That's interesting, because she has this thing about earthquakes. The hearing on the 22nd, I believe, is 9 a.m. 9 a.m. Salty Idaho, the mod has just linked to a newsletter by Lori Hellis. Lori Hellis is a friend of mine, a friend of this channel. She's a retired criminal defense attorney who's now authoring some books. She's going to be writing a book about this case, but she has a legal newsletter. Whenever filing's happening in this case, she writes a newsletter explaining to us what it means and why it's happening. I really recommend you to sign up to that newsletter. It's fantastic. And Jean, thank you for the super chat. Oh, that's a new sticker. I haven't seen that one before. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the support. Thank you. You guys are making me so happy. And I wish they'd come out of this breakout room. Oh, goodness. They'll have to approach the Amish community as they don't have television or internet. Well, there you go. That could work. That could work. They haven't heard about the case. But what would the Amish see? They have a couple considerations. Not only do they want people who haven't heard much about the case, but people who would be able to take the information and judge it impartially in an unbiased way. But when they're dealing with an element of religious extremism that we're going to hear, certainly from Chad and Lori's beliefs, that could complicate it if they take a jury from a highly religious group. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying not to say anything that would offend anyone, but anyway, you know what I mean. I hope. 1 second. See what Leslie just said in chat. I agree with that. I think the Amish would freak out about the religious aspects of this case. So, yeah. And Emily says the Amish don't partake of government issues. That's possible. I have no idea. But yeah, I don't think that would be a really good group to be an impartial jury for this case. That presents its whole other world of complications. Hi, Diana from Mexico. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well down there. Oh, goodness. Chad and Lori are the evil that walk among us. Cheryl Ann, I agree. I definitely agree. Justice for Tylee and JJ. Yeah, and I get that these hearings are really frustrating from that perspective because this hearing is not about JJ or Tylee or Charles or Tammy or Joseph. This hearing is about the lawyers bickering with each other. And it is incredibly frustrating when all we want to see is justice for those kids. But this is all the behind the scenes stuff that we never usually see. You know how you can say someone's arrested and they don't go to trial for 4 years? You're like, why did it take so long for them to go to trial? Well, this is why. This is exactly why. We normally aren't privy to all of these motions and all of these hearings and all of these filings. Normally that's just done through the court, and we see it when it goes to jail, when all of this has been resolved. But with this case, we have the very interesting perspective of being able to watch all of this behind the scenes stuff. And yeah, it's frustrating.
Eileen, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Mr. Wood.
Yes, Rob.
So
Uh-oh.
the judge would like me, Mr. Pryor, and the court reporter to go into the breakout room.
You,
I don't know.
the court reporter, and Mr. Pryor. Okay,
Yes.
in a new room, right?
Well, I think just in the one that the judge and Mr. Means are in right now, if that's
Okay.
possible.
Oh,
Hi,
sure.
Rob.
Okay.
Right now, they're all going to the breakout room. Can you bring us, please? We want to go. Take me with you, Rob Wood. Please. Goodness gracious. Oh, all right. So we're still going to have to wait. Now, it's interesting because recently in the Letitia Stout case, which is a case that I am not going to be covering too much on this channel because now Jess is going to be doing that over on her channel, which is Mistrial. So if one of the mods wants to drop a link to Jess's channel.
Eileen.
Oops, they're still talking.
I'm trying, Mary.
Okay.
I'm trying.
I gotcha. Thanks.
In the Letitia Stout case, they had their Zoom hearing and some family members were present via Zoom to watch the hearing, but one of them was streaming it online and the judge was very displeased with that. So this is another issue with Zoom hearings, is I think they're dangerous because anyone who has access to a Zoom hearing, if it is a family member or something like that, they can just click a button and live stream it all over the internet, and that's not okay. So there's a whole nother issue why these hearings are terrible. But at the same time I say that, I love the Zoom hearings because never, as a true crime YouTuber, this is the best thing ever, where we can broadcast the hearings uninterrupted. We don't have to worry about copyright issues because these are public access through the courts, through the judges. It is wonderful for us to be able to do that, So I like it for that reason, but I do see the problems with it from a litigious point of view. Let me scroll up and chat. What did I miss? Paul said, at first I thought they accidentally turned it on. Yeah.
Thank you, Joanne. I wonder if we just close it and make a new one.
Just forget the breakout room. Just put it all back on TV. We're fine. We can handle this. Come on. Yeah, like Rosie says, the potential to see and hear things that you're not supposed to be seeing and hearing is a big deal. It really is. And Bruce says, oh no, that's not right. You can get a lot of trouble. Well, I don't know for what. We're not doing anything wrong. But yeah, if they were broadcasting something that I know we should not be seeing, I would turn the stream off because I don't want to get in trouble. But I would probably still listen to it just for my own curiosity's sake. You know what they say about curiosity? Uh-huh. Yeah, but the Zoom hearings, love to love them, says they're super cool for those of us who are interested in this. Yep, absolutely. It's been so just, I don't know what the word is. It's so much more relaxing to broadcast this knowing I don't have to get copyright approval. I don't have to contact anyone. I could just put it on the screen and we're good. It's wonderful.
All right, I think we're back.
Oh, we're back. Yeah. I think so.
we're back on the record here, or we're in the main room, not in the
I'm going to
breakout
mute
room.
myself.
What we're trying to accomplish here is a breakout room with the court reporter, me, Mr. Means, and Mr. Pryor, and Mr. Wood.
I spoke too soon. We're not actually back yet. Good grief. Come on. All right, so they're still trying to get themselves into the breakout room. So, yeah. This could be a while, guys. But I'll keep an eye on it. As soon as it's back, we'll put it back on the screen. Man. Yeah, Pryor generally looks awfully smirky. He's got issues. Oh, the judge. I don't think they're having a good time with all this technology today because the judge is back on the screen by himself. Not sure why. You see his mouse, because the mouse cursor moving around is not mine. That is actually the judge's or the court reporter or something. So we're just going to have to wait. Hi, Salty. How are you doing? Thanks for joining us today. Katie Murphy, we will not see Chad
We're trying
Miller
to
today.
get Doug's help from IT, Judge, and we've got my IT here too. There's something wrong with the breakout rooms.
Okay, if we need to log off and log back in or something, just let us know.
Judge, I hit breakout room and I joined Mr. Means, Mr. Wood, and the court reporter. If you hit breakout room and I hit it, we should all be in.
Perfect.
All right, there they go. I think they found their way into the breakout room. Technology will not stop the wheels of justice from happening. My goodness. Hi, Cookie. How are you doing? Salty, I'm feeling okay. I'm dealing with allergies, hence the scratchy, itchy voice today. Sorry about that. Oh, man. Can I repeat quick what this is for? Sure. Eventually, this is going to be a hearing on the motion to compel that was filed by Rob Wood, asking for the court to compel the defense to turn over all of the documents, names, reports, records, etc., regarding the team that did a survey of people in Fremont, Madison, and Bonneville counties to see where they stood on the case that they're going to use to present their change of venue arguments. However, most of that has been turned over to the defense since the time of that filing. But today, I think we're going to hear more about the two motions in limine filed by Rob Wood, asking for two of those survey people to not be allowed to testify. Salty, thank you so much for the super chat. That's a cute sticker. I haven't seen that one either. Look at all the new stickers I've never seen before. Awesome. Thank you for the support. I really appreciate it. Let me mute for 1 second because I really need to cough. All right. There we go. Pryor looks like a Cheshire cat. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's the cat face all over again. Yeah, nobody knows the technical stuff. Yep, that's just another one of the issues with these court hearings via Zoom. Because everybody's having to scramble to learn new technology. And, honestly, if you have to call an IT specialist to come in and help you do a Zoom hearing, why not spend some time learning how to use Zoom before the hearing starts, Oh, goodness. And Zoom is a little complicated. I was trying to use Zoom so I could use filters, camera filters, and it was complicated. And I'm not, computer illiterate. And I was like, oh, I wouldn't want to try doing that for a live court hearing. Mm-mm. Survey people. Yeah, the defense team hired some people to go around and do a survey to ask people what they thought about Lori Vallow and Chad Daybell, right? To see if there was a chance that they would have potential fair jurors to pick from for the jury pool. And the information that they got from that survey is one of the factors that they're using to ask the court for a change of venue on March 22nd. But two of the people named as people who did the survey, Rob Wood is stating that they're not skilled, they're not experts, they're not, they're just average people who did a survey, and he doesn't want them to be able to testify in court. So we'll see what happens. The judge is going to have to make a determination on that. We don't know what the survey says because the survey has not been made public. I don't know if the survey results have been turned over to Rob Wood. I think that's part of the motion to compel. So we should hear some of that. Can I explain the motions in limine again? These are motions where Rob Wood is trying to have these potential witnesses and their information not allowed in the court record. So no, you don't hear a cat cookie. You hear some little kids playing outside my apartment window. So I'm sorry, I can't really stop that. So we'll just have to ignore them. Whose kids are in the Zoom? Nobody's kids are in the Zoom. Those are one of my neighbor's children's playing outside. So we'll just have to grin and bear that because they're very noisy. But at least it's kids playing and not the leaf blower man. The leaf blower man has been coming on at like 8 o'clock in the morning, which is a not good sound. Yes, my windows are open because it's beautiful outside today. Absolutely beautiful. It's about 70 degrees, sunny, nice and breezy. So I'm keeping the windows open because some fresh air is good, especially when you live without water for 2.5 weeks. Definitely need a fresh breeze in this house. Let me tell you what. Yeah, I do not like the leaf blower man at all. And plus he tends to, I think he milks the leaf blowing experience because he probably gets paid by the hour, because he'll leaf blow under my apartment window, which is right under my bedroom, for a good half an hour. And I'm like, there aren't any trees. It's the middle of winter. What are you leaf blowing? Dude, can you stop? It's like, can you give the guy a broom or something? My goodness. Yeah, he takes his time leaf blowing. But at 8 o'clock in the morning, that does not start my day off very well. Yeah, I don't like that at all. Most pointless exercise. They blow it all to one side and the next. Yeah. They blow everything off the parking lot, because that's what's outside my bedroom window. Blow it to the other side of the parking lot. The next day it's back again. So I guess that's called job security, maybe. But yeah, last time he did that at 8 o'clock in the morning, I was on the phone to my landlord, and I just held up the phone. I was like, "Do you hear that?" She's like, "Oh, what's that?" I was like, "That's the leaf blower guy outside my window. What are you doing?" And she's like, "Oh no, I'm sorry. I'll talk to him." I was like, "Yeah." Then a couple of days later, he was back, so I guess she didn't talk to him. Let's see. How come this is happening so late in the day? Just the judge's schedule. That this judge has other cases he's hearing. The court has other stuff they're doing. This was just probably their earliest convenient time for the hearing. Yeah, listen to leaf blowers all weekend long. Yeah. Welcome back, Emily. We're still waiting. They're still in their breakout room. I have no idea how long this is going to take. But, oh, man. It's like, could you guys not have done this earlier? Because we have, I was hoping this would be kind of a quick hearing so I could go to bed. Apparently, that's not going to happen. Oh, and my husband made a giant pan of chili today. And, man, I love his homemade chili. And I'd like to eat that. As soon as the hearing gets going, I can have a bowl of chili, because then I can mute my microphone. But this is John Pryor just finding ways to ruin my life. I'm kidding. I don't like John Pryor, so yeah. Oh, thank goodness. I don't think the judge is reading Mark Means out. I'm guessing that they're having this in a breakout meeting because one of the witnesses that Mark Means wants to call for the change of venue hearing does not want to be all over camera and have his name in the public and all that stuff, because he doesn't want any backlash from being the one to do the survey in this case and working for the defense team. So I'm pretty sure that's why they're talking about that in a breakout room, because at this point, they're keeping his name at least slightly under wraps. We do know his name, but they're trying to maybe not broadcast it until they come to some determination on that. What are breakout rooms? Breakout rooms, it's a Zoom function where you can be in the middle of a big Zoom hearing and a couple of people can pop out into sort of a private chat and have a conversation without it being broadcast live streamed anywhere or with the rest of whatever group. So it's just like a little private chat room. That's all. Love to Lum says, when I'm sick, I want my dad's chicken and dumplings. Yep. My mom used to make chicken stew with dumplings, and we're probably going to have that tomorrow because that's really good. Although when I'm sick, I want pho. I do like a good bowl of pho. And I had that the other day. Husband went out and got me a pho, and it was delicious. That's my favorite sick food. It's 55 in Michigan. I think it's about 70 here today. But yeah, it's getting beautiful. Feeding it says like judges' chambers. Yeah, think of a breakout room as they're going to judges' chambers for private combo. Jamie Smith, thank you for the super chat. She says, am I the only one who wants to see how rough Lori and Chad look? Nope. I want to see that too. We haven't seen them in quite a while. We have not, because for these procedural hearings, Chad and Lori don't need to be present. They can be if they want to be. They have a right to be. But they're waiving that mainly because they don't need to be here, and probably because of the logistics of it, because they'd have to arrange for them to appear via Zoom from the jails or in person somehow. It just seems like a logistical nightmare. So it's just easier for them not to be there because they don't really have any part in this. This is the lawyers arguing back and forth and not about Chad and Lori. So but yes, I would love to see them looking a bit rougher now because they've been in jail. Well, at least Lori's been in jail for over a year now, a year and a couple weeks. Chad's been in jail since June, so they got to look a little different. Can't the judge agree to them not showing his face on camera? It's not just about being on camera, Mary Williams. I think it's also about his name just being out there in the public record. Even though technically it already is, because Mark Means' filing about Ironwood Insights lists the name of the person and his curriculum vitae and all that stuff. So, it's already out there. So what are we doing this for? I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. Pretty says, I would think they would want the attention of being there. I think if this was a normal kind of case, they might want that. But in this case, they'd be appearing for the defense. And we know how people feel about Lori and Chad. And you know how even YouTube works. You don't think some people are going to hear the name of this company and this guy and start calling them and yelling them? Why would you work for the defense? How can you do that? Da, 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 da. I mean, even I get that stuff from YouTube viewers. How can you say something nice about Mark Means? He's a complete idiot. Da, 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 da. I'm like, stop. So imagine somebody trying to run a successful marketing business having to deal with all the fallout and the trolling that they would get for being involved in this case for the defense. So I can see why he wouldn't want that. What is pho? Pho is a Vietnamese soup. It's made with a beef bone broth and lots of spices. There's some star anise in it and ginger and onion. It's full of good stuff. And boy, when you're sick, that it lifts your spirit. Pho is amazing. I recommend it for everyone. Bet Lori looks rough. She put gobs of time into her vanity. Yes, she did. She was very, very much focused on her appearance before being in jail. So, hi, Shelly Duvall. How are you doing? Glad to see you here. The angel says it's amazing stuff. I guess you're talking about pho. Pho is pretty amazing. Yes, I might have to have it tomorrow. Hot and sour soup, that's pretty good too. Although wonton soup is one of my favorites. That's pretty good. Would you consider a paralegal as opposed to full law school? No. I want a full legal education. I don't want to be a paralegal. I'm not sure I'm ever going to practice law, but once I get my JD, I might sit for the bar. And why not? Why not practice law? Just take a case when I get bored once in a while. Or a good, juicy criminal case. I would probably be a criminal defense attorney. I think that's what I'm going to go for. But I would also like to back that up with at least a basic degree in criminology. I'd really like to do that too. So looks like I'm going to be going to school for the foreseeable future. Paralegal is just as interesting. Perhaps I'm not entirely sure what a paralegal is, but I just want to go the whole route. And there's loud music from some other car. So I'm reading chat. I think I would like to be a lawyer. I think I'd be a pretty good one. Criminal defense seems to be what I'm most drawn to, even though, for me, I like to solve crimes and I want to investigate crimes and I want to see justice, which you would think I would want to be a prosecutor, but then there's a lot of political stuff involved with that. So I think I'd be a better criminal defense attorney. Stephen, we're waiting for them to come back. They're currently in a breakout room having a private conversation between the attorneys and the judge. As soon as they're back, it'll be on your screen. So we're just going to have to wait a bit. Let me double check, make sure. Nope, it's still going. We just got to wait. Your daughter makes beef tortellini soup. That sounds good too. Definitely. Will Lori and Chad see each other or sit by each other? They're not going to be seeing each other today. They're not present for this hearing. When it goes to trial, when and if it goes to trial, if the cases are still joined, there will be a joined defense table. And generally, for all the trials that I've watched where there are two defendants, you'll see lawyer, defendant, where they're not sitting the two defendants right next to each other. They're separated by a defense attorney or two. So I have no idea if that's like a thing or if that's just how it's happened in the cases that I've seen. But they would be at the same defense table, but probably separated by their attorneys. Can Lori color her hair in jail? I have no idea. I wouldn't think so, Nancy, but I don't know. I've never been in jail. I don't know how that works. Lisa Faulkner says, do it while you can. Wish I'd been more serious about it when I was younger. Lisa, if I had known what I'd be really interested in when I was younger, I would have had a much different life. Because right now I'd like to be a criminal defense attorney. I would like to be behavioral analyst for the FBI. I'd like to be a medical examiner. And I'd also like to be Dr. Pimple Popper. And on top of all of that, I am still working on being an astrophysicist. So, yeah, I should have started school when I was 15. For real. But no, I had different dreams when I was 15. So, yeah, I didn't watch the Prokopovich trial live. I listened to opening statements and closing arguments a little bit in between. Maybe I should watch the whole thing and see that. Dana, that sounds very interesting. Carrie Ann says, I can't wait to see Lori in court again. Curious how her body language will be now. Well, according to Keith Morrison, she thinks everything is just hunky-dory. She's dancing in her jail cell. She's reading Chad's books. She seems to have her spirits uplifted because she thinks she's on the right track. I don't know how she could think that, but maybe she's better at delusion than we give her credit for. How do we know what we want to be when we're just out of high school? Yeah, exactly. We don't know. I am not at all the same person I was when I graduated high school. Not even remotely. Let's see, there was a case in the 50s or 60s where they let the defendant dye their roots. I was like, what? It's possible that she can. Jodi Arias changed her hair color. So maybe they can. I don't know. Chad's book is The New Bible, New Religion. Well, I wouldn't go that far. Chad wrote a ton of books, and he classified most of them as fiction, I believe, but they were his accounts of his visions and prophecies and dreams and whatever. Lori lives in her old world. Very much so. She's certainly not in mainstream reality. Oh, goodness. So, yeah, my husband's eating his bowl of chili over there. Kind of feel like jumping him and taking it. It smells so good. Okay, big sip of soda. So, And to recap, we are waiting for them to come out of the breakout room. It shouldn't be too much longer. We're going to hear the motion to compel Rob Wood asking the defense for documentation regarding the survey takers for the change of venue hearing. Probably going to hear arguments on the motion in limine, which is Rob Wood asking for 2 of these witnesses to not be allowed to testify because they are not professionals or trained or anything like that. We'll see how that goes. How does someone become delusional, and how can they treat it, or what medication should she be on? Oh, that is a big question. That is a really big question. A lot of things can cause somebody to become delusional. Early childhood trauma is one of the key things. You have to look at the personality disorders she may have. She has to be diagnosed with things. That there are so many. There's no simple answer to that question. How can they treat it? This is when you get into a lot of things like cult deprogramming. You know, they had plans for that, like back in the 50s, where they would literally kidnap someone and put them in a room and try to talk them out of it. That didn't work so well, as you can imagine. So now there are whole new schools of cult deprogramming, how you approach someone with therapeutic care to sort of get them back to reality. It's not an easy process, and it doesn't always work. So, you know, it's definitely not. It's a fascinating topic, but certainly not one I can just answer quickly. And plus, given Lori, I'm not convinced that she is completely delusional. You know, I think she may be playing delusional and using this whole belief system that they've created for her own purposes. So does she really believe it? How would we ever know? I don't know. But we'll have to wait and see. So, Bud Baby the Sea has a question. So the marketing company wants to be paid for their work, but doesn't want their name or identity revealed. I don't understand. Apparently, according to one of Mark Means' filings, the person in charge of the marketing company does not want to be made public. So I hear noises. I think they're coming back. This could be it. Could it finally be it? Can I have a bowl of chili now? I see Judge Boyce on the screen. I hear some motorcycles or something. And now he's gone again. Come on. Come back, Judge.
All right, once everyone's back in
Okay, here we
the
go.
main session here, we are ready to get started.
Full screen. I'm going to mute myself and get some chili. Talk to you in a bit.
All right, I believe we have everyone now. Clerk, Madam Reporter, are you both ready?
Judge, this is Mary. I'm ready.
Thank you.
Yes, we're on, Judge.
Okay. We'll be on the record here. These are cases CR 222755, State of Idaho versus Chad Guy Daybell, and Fremont County case CR 2220838, State versus Lori Vallow. Representing Mr. Daybell is Mr. Pryor. Mr. Means represents Mrs. Vallow. Mr. Wood represents the state in these cases. We have motions scheduled for today, including state's motions in limine, as well as a motion to compel. We also have scheduled a state's motion for remote testimony of a witness. In addition, we've got hearings scheduled on March 22nd relating to defendant's motions to change venue and a currently pending motion to dismiss. We had a discussion outside of the presence of the recording here. It was reported by the court reporter, and I'll note, due to the nature of the discussion, the reporting of that discussion will be sealed, but we did take a record of our discussions. After discussions with both counsel and in consideration of what's been presented to the court does find good cause at this time to vacate the currently scheduled hearings that are set for today, as well as vacating our hearings that are scheduled for March 22nd. The court will set a status conference, which we can use for further scheduling on April 7th at 1:30. And counsel, that will be conducted by Zoom, as today's hearing was also conducted by Zoom. pursuant to our Supreme Court's operating order. So that's all we're going to take up on the matter today. Mr. Wood, do you have anything further from the state to discuss this afternoon on the cases?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Pryor, anything further today?
Nothing further, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Means, anything else?
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, thanks. That will conclude our matters for this afternoon then. Thanks for your attendance, everyone. Thanks for the assistance of the Supreme Court for your technical help in Fremont County. With nothing further on the docket, we'll go ahead and be in recess.
Are you for real? Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me right now? For real. Well, there you go. There you go. Everything has been vacated. The next hearing will be on April 7th. Yeah, no chili for me. Yeah, you got to be kidding me. Man. All right, so that's it. They had a conversation. It is sealed. We don't get to know what it was about, but that's it. That's it. That was a big, giant waste of time. But that's what happens. Normally, we wouldn't be sitting watching these kinds of hearings, right? We wouldn't be showing up to court to sit through this kind of stuff, and it would have just gone by our wayside. So whatever. But I wanted to see what was going on. So there are going to be a lot of filings coming up, I'm sure. But who knows? Who knows? There will be new hearings scheduled. I don't think we're going to go from now till April 7th without having another hearing. So we're just going to have to wait and see. But certainly anything that comes up on the court's docket, court filings, I will bring them to you. I'm probably going to go through all of the filings that we had for this week and break them down into videos just so that we're all on the same page when this finally comes up. So ring the notification bell. If anything big happens, I'll go live. But I'm certainly going to go through all of these filings. There's a lot to do, but I haven't had my voice enough to record those videos. But once I do, we'll get all the filings just so we're all caught up to date and have all the record. And I'll keep an eye on what happens. But man, I'm sorry, guys. I had no idea that this was going to happen. I really thought that we were going to hear at least arguments on the motions in limine today, but we did not. We did not hear anything. So, but thank you for being here. I appreciate all of your support. Thanks to the mods. You guys run a wonderful community here, and it's all thanks to you, and we couldn't do this without you. Yep, they did vacate the hearing on the 22nd. The next scheduled hearing is April 7th, but I would assume between now and then, other stuff is going to come up. So stay tuned. We'll go over it. Also, for all of my channel members and patrons, remember Thursday night we have the live stream, the narcissism stuff. We're doing that every week. So please join us for that. And I'm going to get to work on some videos with all of these damn filings because my goodness. All right. So thank you for being here. I'm going to have some chili and go to bed. Good night, everyone. Thanks for being here. I'll talk to you soon.